Chanel Farmer Irish Champion Hurdle. We'll take a look at the betting. State Man is around 2.1 currently. Honeysuckle 2.75. Vauban is currently a 5.0 shot and it's 51.0 bar. Charlie, over to you on this one. This is a fascinating race, isn't it? I mean, just as a racing fan, Constitution Hill will be watching this race. Really looking forward to it, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, whether he'll be that worried or Constitution Hill, if he's watching on, I'm not sure. But it is a belter, as in State Man's looked. I mean, obviously he was very impressive last year in the handicap at Cheltenham, and he's followed that progression on and looked incredibly good. He seems to be just a very straightforward horse that gets the job done, and he's kind of versatile. It looks like it'd be a dream to ride. Obviously, Honeysuckle, they've lost their unbeaten record last time behind Tihupu, who then franked that form and was very impressive the other day. Vauban travelled incredibly strong behind State Man on his first run, and the vibes are sort of lukewarm, weren't they? And you're wondering whether he can come forward. And then Pied Piper and Zanahir, quality performers in their own right, but in theory got no chance this weekend. I ended up, I don't know, this is probably heart rule in my head, because I remember saying earlier in the year that I thought it was ridiculous. Constitution Hill was sort of shorter in the betting than Honeysuckle, the champion Urban, and it looks pretty stupid that now. So, we live and learn in life. But I'm still thinking, it maybe the Hatton's Grace run in December wasn't as bad as it seemed. She travelled strong. She looked like she was coming to win the race, and got done from the back of the last. And I think it's a contest where she hasn't always been at her very best. There was a couple of years ago, Ronald Pump ran her fairly close in that race, and then she sort of jumped forward from there. And so, like I say, it's probably going to look a really foolish selection come Sunday. But I just think you take that run out of the equation. Would she be favourite still? I think there's a strength of possibility that she would be, and so at 3.0, maybe a little bit bigger than that, I'm going to chance her. But I'm really looking forward to this race for loads of reasons. But to see if State Man can just continue that sort of unbeaten march towards the champion hurdle and become a really credible contender to Constitution Hill. And also, I'm really intrigued to see whether Vauban can step forward again. I mean, he looked brilliant last year as a juvenile. And it's only really that the vibes were so lukewarm that this wasn't going to be a season and whatever else. But I thought the run at Leopardstown last time was full of promise. I mean, like I say, I'd nearly argue he travelled like the best horse in the race and then just flattened out. So lots of interest. But like I say, Honeysuckle for me, but it's a tentative selection in what looks a corking renewal.
Yeah, Don, what I'm nearly most looking forward to is seeing this market, because the money hasn't really missed too much on Honeysuckle. If everyone remembers the first champion hurdle, I think she was available 3.5, 3.0 in the morning and went off a very short price. So if the money does come for it may just be sentimental money. It's hard to differentiate the two sides of it, but it's fascinating if she can get close to State Man in the market here.
Yeah, no, it's all fascinating, really, like from now to post time and then after post time during the race. But like I agree with a lot of what Charlie said. Like I think her Hatton's Grace hurdle run this season wasn't bad at all, and I think she'll be better on Sunday. She 2.5 miles on soft ground on her seasonal debut. It may be that just stretches her. I know she'd won Hatton's Grace hurdle a number of times before, but when she won it in 2019, it was soft ground. She already had a run. She won it in 2020. She only just got home by a half length from Ronald Pump. That was on soft ground, over 2.5 miles, obviously on her seasonal debut. And then last year, when she beat Ronald Pump by much further, it was good ground, 2.5 miles. Again, this seasonal debut, soft ground, 2.5 miles. I just think the combination of those three factors don't play to her strengths. So, look, she was beaten, and the day was probably going to come at some point. Her shroud of invincibility, that's been lifted. But she's a top, like all she's done, 3 Irish champion hurdles. Only Isterback and Hurricane Fly have won more than 2 champion hurdles. Like, she's just such a superstar mare. And the reception she got last season on the way down to the start before she'd even competed was fantastic. And then coming back, you just love to see that replicated. And I think even this season, there's something about a hero or a heroine who bounces back after defeat. I think it would be even bigger if she could go and win it this season. But look, it's a hell of a race. State Man is very good. He's a county hurdle winner. He's won his 2 hurdles this season. I thought his jumping the last day in the Matheson hurdle was better than it was in the Morgiana. And Vauban, again, agree with Charlie. He ran a big race the last day. He was expected to come on a fair bit from it. And you could see Willie Mullins afterwards. He was nearly happier with Vauban's run than he was with Stateman's. I think he surprised him a wee bit. So look, I know it's hard for 4-year-olds turning 5 when they move into open company, but he was the outstanding juvenile last season, and I think he could get closer to Stateman even on Sunday than he did, and therefore shortening the champion hurdle market. But over everything is Honeysuckle. I just love to see her winning again, and I think she can.
So yeah, 2 votes for Honeysuckle. We're team Stateman, Dan. So are we the Grinch? I mean, like, what's going on here?
Yeah, we are. We're here to ruin the party, Dan. That's what we're here to do. It's a fascinating little race. This tactically, it's a bit of a struggle to figure out how this is going to work. Like Takarengo's in there, but he's also in on Saturday, so he would have been a pace angle, but he probably won't even run. And after that, you're looking at a bunch of horses that there is no clear pace. I just wonder if Stateman might be the one to take up that mantle here. Obviously, he raced in a clear second in the Matheson, who's a few lengths off She's Electric, who's just a keen going front runner, but he was clear of the remainder. And his jumping now has got to a point where they might be more willing to do and go from the front with him now. Like, he seems a bit more professional. We know he's got the stamina as well for 2.5. He won over 2.5 at Punchestown as well. And I just love the way the last day, when Vauban came to him, it looked like it was going to get quite close, but he really did just kick away and cleared home quite strongly there. Obviously, hurdles taken out as well. He's got that stamina in abundance. So if he's allowed to dictate what might be a fairly slowly run race, if nothing pressures him, given we know the likes of Vauban and Pied Piper are almost certainly held up. Zanna here won't be able to go to pace. Honeysuckle might pressure him, but it might get a bit tactical there. But if Stateman is able to dictate from the front, he might just have first say about when they're allowed to extend, and that might be the difference here. And also, when it gets to this stage, I do just tend to go with the up-and-coming progressive horse. And I love Honeysuckle, I really do, but this might just be a bridge too far against an up-and-coming Stateman.